The facts matter.
Good morning, everyone. Virgo here. It is September 15th, 2020, and happy Tuesday to everyone. So, if you recall yesterday, I put up a video that was rather controversial with regards to Africatown Coalition. This particular video was with regards to 2 police officers that had been shot in the head in Compton, California over the weekend. There were a group of the Africatown Coalition boys that went over to the hospital where those 2 police officers were fighting for their lives, and they gave the police officers and security guards at that hospital a very difficult time. Those of you that witnessed it, the majority of you had the same reaction that I did and were completely disgusted by it. Interestingly enough, one of my subscribers, who happens to live in the Seattle, Washington area, had forwarded me some information with regards to a local election that's going on there. And this particular election had an interesting individual in there that they wanted me to take a look at. And the reason why these 2 things tied together are important, I think you will see in just a moment. But first, here is once again a look at Kevin Price, just so that you keep that in mind, from the African Coalition, or the Africatown Coalition out of Los Angeles, California.
What's up there, black family? This is Kevin Price, Africatown Coalition. We are out here at St. Francis Hospital, where 2 of America's most notorious gang members have been brought to. We're going to go up here and just check on these murderers right here and see what's up. You know what I'm saying? So let me turn this around.
Now that that's fresh in your mind, let's take a look at this flyer that was forwarded over to me by my subscriber. Omari Tahir Garrett was running for governor in Seattle, Washington. It says there's no information submitted for elected experience, other professional experience, education, or community service. However, a statement has been made. The statement says, I'm running as a spokesperson for the anti-apartheid Reparation Now movement. My issues and solutions. Number 1, raise awareness that Washington State is Native American land and should be returned. Colonialism is no longer acceptable. And number 2, the current governor's biggest mistake is turning Seattle's SVI building over to proven historical Negro vampire criminals. This is unconstitutional and will be opposed in the courts and on the streets. Number 3, reparations must be paid to Africatown to repair/correct the cultural and economic damage done to the refugees from European colonial settlers. And the ethnic cleansing is number 4. And number 5 involves removing the names and images of the North American, I'm not even going to say the rest of it here, because you can read for yourself that they're being referred to as, Washington and Jefferson are being referred to as less than honorable gentlemen here, as you can see. And if I say too much, I won't be able to post this video. Now, there are some good things on here, like the attempt to end homelessness, but the attempt to provide land and materials and expertise for the homeless to build their own mortgage-free housing, etc., etc., takes a great deal of social we'll say social programs. Social programs. You know, with my history being what it is, I can certainly understand the upset with regards to Native American land, so on and so forth. But things happened over time. And as we know, those things did not make everyone happy. And yes, there are things that can be changed, and there is assistance that can be done. But what we are seeing are no longer just the fringe trying to rise up in order to start a revolution, although they're still doing that too. But we are seeing a blatant disrespect for the country as it stands currently in ways we've never seen before. And I have attempted on the Virgo Triad channel to warn everyone to watch for these things for a little over 4 years now. This particular scenario is interesting because it relates so closely out of nowhere to the information I was providing to you yesterday in that very controversial video that I put up. And this is the reason why that video is so important. Things like this. See, if you're not keeping track of what's really going on and the separation between these groups, you are going to not understand what they're really doing behind the scenes. If you're not watching who they're backing politically, and if you are not watching what it is that these individuals are attempting to try to do with our local governments, then you could be caught unawares, and that would be a very bad thing as things stand right now. So let me just state that this is another member of the Africa Town Coalition that is running or ran for governor. And was bold enough to put out there these different statements in the very material that they were forwarding to people. I spoke to you before with regards to these Sovsits that are attempting to try to get into office. And there are many that are already in now. I have actually warned you of this for several years at this point. There was one that was already in office in New Hampshire when I first started this channel. But there are many, many more that have ran at this point. And they're sitting on your city councils. They are running for your local elections. And there are a couple that are running to be congressmen and congresswomen or congresspeople now. So you have to look more closely at what's really going on. Because the whole purpose of the Sovsit movement in the first place was to overthrow the federal government. So here is some additional information from a free website builder. He didn't apparently even pay for his website. It looks like this is part of the free sites that Wix provides. And this is all about Amari Tahir Garrett. And if you go down here, you can see that, once again, he mentions reparations that must be paid to Africa Town. So, again, this is a group that is well known across the nation. There is, this is going on in many, many cities of many states. And so, we tend to think of the Sovsit group as the Moors and the the white group of sovereigns that we see online that are running financial scams. But the truth is that even though if you look up in Southern Poverty Law Center, or you look up anywhere where they run statistics on these soft-sit movements, you're going to find that, there's about 500,000 of them. No. There's many, many more. And more being recruited every single day. And they're getting into office because people are not paying attention. Along with the soft-sit movement came the Patriot movement. And what ties into the Patriot movement? Some of the Q movement. And if you just pay attention to the rampant conspiracy theories that are going on that we know have already been proven false, you're going to run into these people who are attempting to try to get into office. When you realize the main reason for the soft-sit movement in the first place was to get in to the inside in order to overthrow what is currently standing as the federal government, you will recognize that there is a serious problem. Many of you have asked previously why it is that there are so many scams that are going on and so many people that are getting away with doing a lot of these soft-sit scams and making the claims that they're making or attempting the financial fraud that they're attempting. I've answered this before several times, but let me just make this clear one more time. The domestic task forces that were set up in order to stop these types of things have been defunded. The first set of defunding came in 2017, and the second set of defunding came in 2019. And now we're hard-pressed to find a task force within the FBI, let alone IC3, that is actually funded enough to stop these individuals from doing what they're doing. I know many of you don't want to believe that that's true, but it is. When there is no one to actually watch over these individuals, we have a serious issue. So you wonder why it's spreading like wildfire. You wonder why we keep seeing these things happen. That's why. Some fundamental changes will have to take place in order to stop this. Because if it doesn't stop, eventually, unfortunately, they will succeed. And the system as we know it, the law and order as we know it, will never be the same. This is not to scare you. This is to inform you. There are people all over that are attempting to break into the inner circles of public life, meaning to become someone of an authority over cities, counties, states, and in Congress. We have to start paying closer attention. And we have to start fighting harder against these types of ideologies. You know, I have to question anyone who doesn't see the connecting dots here. But before I get into any more of political jargon, I don't want to be accused of doing that. So I will stop here in the hopes that you all will really take a hard look at what it is that I'm presenting to you. By the way, in case you wanted to know, Amari did not win the race this year. He lost the race for the governor's office, but that does not mean that he will lose the next time around. He's been trying since 2015. and more support is being thrown his direction. I've shown you in the past that there are Moors that are taking their ideology to city councils, sitting on boards. I've shown you in the past Sovsits that are sitting on Congress or sitting in Congress. I've shown you in the past that there are QAnon conspiracy nuts that are running for election. Please take notice to what's going on around you, even if it's not in your state. The very people that you all sit and look at on Van Balen's channel and on Scamstinger's channel are those people. They are the people that are being elected or are sitting waiting to see if they can get elected. It's a crazy time in our country. And when things get chaotic, even though the idea to step away and the feeling you should step away is the first thing you grasp to, the truth is you really need to be watching more closely. All right, everyone, I hope you have a good day. Take care.